And hence, we are saying what? We are saying that the marginal benefit to rebalance should be equal to the marginal cost, right over there. The more expensive it is to trade, if it costs more to trade, then you're saying that the wider the corridor will be, because the marginal benefit to rebalance should equal to the marginal cost. So some form of compensation should actually be provided for trading or frequent trading. So we're saying that the higher the risk tolerance, or the higher the resistance of the portfolio to ward off external shocks, then you are saying that the greater the corridor should actually be for you to be able to actually play around with in terms of asset allocation weights over there. So if you are saying it's 40% based on a previous example like that, the wider the corridor will be. It can even go as far as 55% like that, not like the way it was before. The way it was before, we could go just to plus minus 5%, so it goes to 45% there, and here it goes down to 35% on this other side like that. But we're saying that the greater the higher the risk tolerance, what can happen, or what should happen, is that you'll be able to now actually spread them, have a wider ground to actually play with. So 55%, and maybe now we can be able to now go plus 15 or minus 15. We can even go to 25% over there, or yes, 25%. 25 and 55% should actually be in the areas where you're actually going to actually play you have a wider ground to actually get the trigger points. You'll have a wider area to have trigger points on. So that is the risk tolerance as well as the correlations over there. Point number three is volatility. Volatility. And we can say higher volatility should lead to higher volatility should lead to narrower corridor ceteris paribus, or all else equal. That. So if the market is very erratic like so, then the bands, or the tolerance bands within which you can be able to actually allow trigger points to occur should actually be much narrow. Should actually be say 40%, using that example, will actually say be 43 over here, and actually should be 37% like that. That is what you're saying. If the markets are very erratic, it means that the portfolio weights or the portfolio values will be adversely or significantly affected by small shocks up and down and so forth there. So the small shocks up and down would mean that trigger points should actually be more frequent, so that now you can be able to rebalance the portfolio much frequently. Of course, we've already looked at the benefits and costs of rebalancing. There is always a challenge in terms of the cost element of rebalancing. Number 4 is correlation. Correlation. Higher correlations, we can say higher correlations should lead to wider tolerance bands. That. So the ability of a portfolio to have, or ability of one asset class to be correlated with another asset class, which has been included in the portfolio, would mean that the tolerance bands should actually be much wider. Why is that the case? Because we are saying that the correlations actually, if the market is actually moving in an upward direction like that, it should be able to enhance the value of the portfolio once one asset class is actually correlated with another asset class over there. So we're saying that the wider tolerance bands should actually be displayed when correlations are actually quite high over there. So number 5 is volatility with other asset classes over there. Volatility with other asset classes. So volatility number 5, volatility with other asset classes. So this is what we're saying is almost tied with the point of correlation over there.